Today we're going to look at triads. And if you have with you your favorite triad and you'd like to show it, would love to see it. If you don't and I can find it or go down the hall and get it, I will show people what that looks like. Yours looks like as well. Okay, so I will tell you some of the ones that we're going to test and or just look at. Today, I have with me New Gamboge, Alizarin Crimson, and Serpentine. That'll be one set. And then Green Fuchsite, Iridescent Sapphire, and Burnt Umber. That'll be the second triad. Rich Green Gold, Burgundy Yellow Ochre, and Carmine will be the third. Cerulean Blue, Hansa Yellow Medium, and Roasted French Ochre will be the fourth. Transparent Brown Oxide, Sap Green, Iridescent Bronze will be the fifth. And the last will be Sleeping Beauty, Environmental Friendly Brown Iron Oxide, and Cerulean. Letiza, can you paste that to both Facebook and to Zoom, please? Okay, hello Anika, hello Aram, and Juliet and Carol on Facebook. Okay. Let me flip cameras. No, I want to flip camera, not turn camera off. There we go. Okay. And let's start with this triad set right here. And I think this is in your upper left-hand corner, Giovanni, is the New Gamboge, the Alizarin Crimson, and the Serpentine. Is that correct? Yeah, okay. So I will do the same. What I don't have is a plate. Giovanni, can you show yours real quick? And I'll be right back when we get a palette.
New Gamboge, Alizarin Crimson, and Serpentine. Show it. Oops. No.
Giovanni,
Yeah.
is it permanent Alizarin Crimson?
No,
Yeah.
no, it's
no,
Alizarin Crimson.
Alizarin Crimson. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So can change. You can also switch. If you like.
Or at least mine's going to be Alizarin Crimson. Okay.
And connect all the three for mixing. Okay.
John, There-
Yes,
a question from Sue from Facebook. Sue said, what makes permanent alizarin crimson permanent? Is it a different pigment?
so alizarin crimson. Alizarin crimson is a coal tar derivative, and it's fugitive by itself. But it was used by the masters, is why we have it. It's very popular among the masters, and university professors and college teachers still want their students to use it. But we came up with the permanent version. The permanent version uses very high performance pigments that have a very high light fastness 1. So it permanent alizarin crimson is 100+ years, where this is anywhere from 20 to 25 years. Now you can make this one last longer by putting it behind conservation glass in a less sunny area. You can do things to increase that lifespan or light fastness, but by itself, it's a fugitive pigment. Thank you, Sue. Okay, so that is the first triad. And I'm going to see if any of you are doing them. Gallery. There we go. Okay. Ashley, are you doing triads today?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Can we see yours?
Yeah, sure. I can try to show you on the camera. It's not the best lighting, but I'm fascinated by these browns.
That's cool. You and Giovanni do such a great job. That's very nice. Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, those
Mm.
browns are really pretty.
very nice. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
John,
Yes.
triad. Can you explain exactly what they are in this? Can there be any set of colours, or is there a particular?
No, so good question, Ian. So probably when we had our catalog, so we had a catalog from 1976 into the early 2000s. And in the catalog, we would have, we would talk to artists, wow, 50, 100 a day through the call center. And they would tell us about their favorite colors, etc. And so we did kind of what we asked here. We said, what would be your favorite colors on a desert island? We'd ask them, so
Right.
what are the 3 favorite colors that you have and how do you use them? And if they were, we sent them to the staff, and the staff liked them. At that time, I had 110 employees, almost close to 100% were artists. If they were really popular among the staff, we would make them into a saleable unit called a triad, and we'd put them and label them and sell them in the stores and sell them on the catalog. So that's how the triad came about. And then artists like Raffaelli does marvelous. He comes up with all types of triads and how he and his students use them. So we just kept the same name alive, which is what 3 tubes do you use and how do you use them?
Yeah, great. Bit of the back history.
Yeah, I always look for triads that will give me that they mix well with each other, that they'll create wonderful secondary colors. And in almost all my paintings that are predominantly negative paintings, I always use 3 colors. And that's just, I've got books and books and books of 3 color combinations that I use. And for like an example, okay, can you see that quinacridone gold, French ultramarine blue, and up here that's quin rose? So the 3 colors are used as the underpainting, and I call them in mother color. So can you see this painting very well?
Yes.
So
Yep.
those 3 colors I just showed you were used as the underpainting. And throughout the painting, as I build up glazes, one of those colors will always touch the next color that I'm introducing. That way you have this continued kind of harmony that runs throughout a piece. As well as if you look at Hansa Yellow Medium, Cobalt Blue, and Quin Sienna down here. And those three were the three colors that were used here. So when I use three colors, a triad in an underpainting, it's setting the tone and the mood that will go throughout the whole painting. So it's really kind of important to find colors for me that have the same kind of weight. I would never go into a cadmium or a cadmium hue, because if I put that in with like a quinacridone gold or something, they don't have the same weight. They wouldn't suspend and move in the same way. So something I think about all the time. All negative paintings, three colors. A triad, traditionally you'll be a blue and a yellow. Not that often will I hit a red. I may be going more into a color that's a violet or Quin Rose, which is a violet. So looking for the largest range of secondary colors that I can get out of them.
That's awesome, Brenda. Thank you. So what are a couple of your favorite triads that you put together?
Hansa Yellow Medium,
Okay.
Permanent Yellow Deep, and then this where it becomes like the blue. Either it's like a cobalt teal blue, which will give me kind of a lighter range of greens and that I would find in here. Okay, so I will go more, because see, that's the yellow and the permanent yellow deep, and that permanent yellow deep really pushes towards the red side. It looks like an orange, but it is a yellow, right? So there's the permanent yellow deep. But when I'm going into something like the grapes, I really love to use the quinacridone rose. I can get so much variation with my yellows and with my blues when I mix with it. So those are two of them.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Sure. You're talking my language. I love to talk colors.
Okay. So these are the Hansa Yellow Medium, Hansa Yellow Medium, Cerulean Blue, and this is Roasted French Ochre. And this is kind of the mix. And then I saw Giovanni had his up there. That camera this way. See. Hello, Raffaele.
Raphael,
So Raphael,
John has sent
okay.
his triad images. We have 3 images loaded on PowerPoint. Shall we share
Yeah,
that?
please. Yeah, of course.
So we got here. Mhm. Okay, we'll start here. There we go.
I see it on Facebook. Maybe I'm saying that. There we go.
So he is logged in Facebook, not in Zoom, but he wanted these images for us to share. And the third one. Oh.
Very nice. Can we blow up geos for a second?
Okay, Joe.
It's just after 2 o'clock here in Seattle, and I will tell you, for whatever reason, in my head, that top one looks like a hamburger. I must just be hungry, because that'd be the strangest hamburger in the world. But I just must be really hungry. Very nice.
Thank you. It's beautiful. The color blue. It's triads, so it's perfect for simple change the sequence for obtain another shade, another color. Very nice.
So Suzanne says, I'm very interested in placing these colors in triads on your C-Lab mapping. Where would I find the XLS? I will send that to you, Suzanne, then I'll post it. I'll just tell everybody else next week, but I'll send it to you. It is on there. It's on the danielsmith.com site. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just thinking an easy way for you to do it. I will send it to you.
So here, when we wet the paper and just draw a line of color, and the color flow with the water and mix together. Just a line of brush.
Leticia, are those your, no, those are just, how about your favorite? Can you show everybody the ones that you did that you liked?
My favorite
Yeah.
are in my flat. This is bismuth vanadate, yellow, the rhodonite genuine, there is Primatec, and the sodalite genuine. I love the sodalite blue. I really love it. And together, just always draw a line, a thick line, and they flow with the water. And if mixed in a palette together, they become this kind of green. It's very granulated color. So, because the yellow is very, very bright, the rhodonite, I love it, has a beautiful red, and because it's a Primatec. Thank you.
Thank you.
Change sequence.
So sometimes I'll get a customer service question about a color that glitters. And very few of our colors do that unless they're luminescent, but I'll show you something. This is, you can kind of see it there. This is the iridescent bronze that I'm using. And what happens if you do that in your general water, you're going to pick up some of the mica that's in that water. So you probably just want to use, I'm using a separate cup. Otherwise, from here on out, everything would have a slight little bit of mica to it. I don't think you can see it right now, but with that iridescent bronzite, once this dries, you'll be able to see the mica that's in the glaze. So this right here is the transparent red oxide. And this one is the iridescent bronze. And this is sap green. And this is a mix of all three. Suzanne, you can either leave your email, if you don't want to leave it here, which is fine on Facebook, if you don't want to do that. You can send it to customer service at Daniel Smith, and I will send it. I read those all the time, so I will send it back to you. Otherwise, I will go through Facebook and just find you and send it that way. Kind of really happy that you're doing that. It's another tool that's kind of fun to use. I think it's kind of fun to use. So I'm reading the Facebook comments, and Suzanne had asked about mapping using C-Lab, the triads, and I thought that was just really kind of interesting. It's beautiful to see them, and it's just an extra step to kind of see where they map out using the C-Lab. So. Let's see, environmental friendly again, Aurelian. Let's try that. So this is going to be environmental friendly brown iron oxide.
Hey, Jay.
So do you think it would be tacked?
And this one's going to be Aurelian, cobalt yellow. And then Sleeping Beauty. Okay. So if anybody watching has triads that you like, would love to see them. If you don't have them, you can just kind of say what they might be, would be fine as well. So that's Aurelian. Aurelian, cobalt yellow.
John, is the Aurelian transparent or semi-transparent?
I think the Aurelian is transparent. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see.
Oh. Thank you, Gio.
And what's that?
John, what are these two browns you are doing? You are using at this moment.
This one right here is the
Yeah.
environmental friendly
All right.
red oxide.
Red oxide.
Right. Actually, yes.
And the other one that you just put it?
Here
Yeah.
is a mix of these three things.
All right. Okay. Okay. That's great.
Wow.
Giovanni, what set are you on?
This is the last. Is a Riolin friendly brown oxide as Sleeping Beauty.
Okay.
I tried this another change the sequence with before the environmentally and or before the Riolin, before the Sleeping Beauty and environmentally mixing and apply the yellow after. It's very interesting triads.
John, what does enviro friendly mean?
So environmental friendly, there was a time in the East Coast when they had a lot of factories, etc., that the rivers would get polluted.
Mhm.
50 years ago, 70 years ago, 80 years ago. And there's a company that goes through and they clean the rivers and they take the material out and they process it and they separate it into different pigments, etc. And one of those are oxides.
Oh.
And then they're tested to make sure they're, they pass all types of toxicology, etc.
Mhm.
And then we buy it from them. We could buy the same thing on the open market, but we buy this because they charge a little bit more. What they do with the extra differential, say one was $8 a pound and one is $12 a pound, they'll use that $4 that's extra to go in and do the next river. And so it's just environmental friendly. It's a way to pay forward. And they've done, if you read it online, they've just done marvelous jobs about these rivers that they clean. It's pretty spectacular.
Wow.
So they're called environmental friendly because it helps just clean one river and then another river and then another river. And what they leave behind them is just quite beautiful.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. This one's going to be one of my it's not my favorite color. That's ultramarine blue, but Carmen is actually I find quite beautiful.
Yeah, I like Carmen too.
So this one is rich green gold. And then burgundy yellow ochre.
Hi, John.
How you doing, Gabriel?
Good. I got 3 triads to share, if I may.
Yeah.
My first one here is cerulean blue, Hansa yellow light, and rose of ultramarine. My next one is ultramarine blue, queen gold deep, and pyro red. And one of the fun ones here that I like to use for the beach, especially sometimes when it's a not so pretty beach, it's more of an overcast beach, is Sleeping Beauty turquoise with goethite and moon glow.
Hmm.
Thanks for letting me share.
Yeah. And can you do, if you have those with you, can you do a real quick mix?
You bet.
So many times we would have Angela and Caroline and Michael and many others. They're all doing the Australia muster. And
So John,
yes,
I'd like to show one that I did of those fuchsias that I did last week. This is on a piece of scrap paper,
Yeah,
so there's a
please,
bunch of
yeah,
other junk on it. But up here, I've got lemon yellow, cobalt blue, and cobalt teal blue. And I ended up with a really nice green that I did the leaves on that fuchsia painting that I showed last week.
so ultramarine blue, Hansa,
No, cobalt blue,
cobalt blue, cobalt blue.
cobalt teal blue, and lemon yellow.
Very cool.
And it almost what's that word you use when the colors separate?
Granule.
I'm sorry.
When they
Granule.
granulate?
Yeah. It granulates with the yellow almost comes out. You almost see the yellow separate from the green, the blue, and the cobalt green, cobalt teal blue. It's
Yeah,
very beautiful.
very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So this is Carmen,
Mhm.
and this one right here is the burgundy yellow oxide, and this is the rich green. This is the rich green gold. It's really a pretty color. And then this is the mix.
Nice. That's nice.
Oh, pretty.
And then Gabriel, I kind of saw yours there for a second. Anthony,
John, could
Yep.
you please scoot yours over a little bit so we can see all there? Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of neat. You're doing all of them, huh?
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's so fun to see how we can mix colors and come up with other colors. It's like being a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah. Or in a laboratory. I feel like I'm in a scientist in a laboratory.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And then this is the last set. Iridescent sapphire. Wow, that is heavy duty mica. Those are nice, Gabriel.
That is nice.
So Brenda, when you do your triads, because you pick so many of them, do you look and say, well, this one is a semi-transparent, this one is a transparent, or this one is a staining, and this one's a non-staining? Does that play into your process of how you choose?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. I'm not concerned with staining. I'm often looking for colors that are single pigment colors.
Single pigment.
Because I really need a super clarity of color. I can dull things down as I move on, but the beginning needs to be super clear colors. I will use pigments that predominantly are transparent, but I may have one that will be a semi-opaque or semi-transparent. That usually will be one of the yellows. I find that yellow is really the hardest color to get a true transparent in. So, and I'm also, and this is predominantly used for my negative paintings. I don't do this when I'm doing landscapes, but for negative paintings. And I'm looking for the blues and the yellows when they come together to give me one of the most believable greens, because I don't usually want to have a green in that early mixture. So I'm going to have a yellow, often pansy yellow medium, sometimes permanent yellow deep. Then when I go down into the blue, that blue will often be like cobalt teal blue, which is a semi opaque. But I find even though it's a more than one pigment color, it will give me a really nice range of greens with either one of the yellows that I put with it. So that's pretty important. I'm not concerned at all about staining. A little granulation I love. So if I can get some granulation like that cobalt teal blue, I love to get that. It's I love the textural quality that I see. Rarely would I use the phthalo that early on. I save them for later, even though they are great mixing colors. They can be a little too strong in the early stage.
Yeah.
So, but your phthalo blue green shade and also your phthalo turquoise blue are just phenomenal mixers. And so I use those for very dark, rich greens that I create. Yeah, I just love them. They're so good. Yeah. So if like with, often I say there'll be a red, blue, and a yellow, and it won't be a true blue, like the cobalt teal blue. The red might be more of a red oxide. So if I'm doing more like fall leaf colors, I'll go into that as a red. So yeah, but I love your paint. God, they just give me the most wonderful mixing ranges. Transparent, clean. I always know what I'm getting out of the tube. I can depend upon it.
Yeah.
John, I'm ready to share those mixes.
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you, Brenda.
So this quadrant here, we have the ultramarine blue, and then we have pyro red, and it makes this lovely color here. And I have the fan blowing cold air on me, so it's kind of dry, not drying as fast as I would like. And then right here, we got the Queen Gold Deep mixing with that Pyro Red, which makes a lovely looking kind of peach color.
Yeah.
And then we've got here now the Queen Gold Deep mixing with that ultramarine, which makes an amazing looking gray. So we've got a red gray, and then we've got a nice bluish gray there. Down here, or up here at the top, we have the Hansa Yellow Light mixing with the cerulean. You can see this lovely green over here around the edge, and it starts to granulate together, which is really nice. And then we've got, oh, this one kind of, let's play with that one again, the Rose of Ultramarine. So this Rose of Ultramarine, and with this cerulean blue. Yes. And so it makes this lovely color here. And again, that Rose of Ultramarine. I'm painting flat, so it's kind of going all over the place here. So there's these three different colors, which is quite lovely. Down here with the bottom, we've got a wonderful cloudy beach day, which happens here in May and June. We call it June gloom, and May what the hey. And right here we have the wonderful goethite, which is brown ochre, which really thinned out. It looks quite lovely, nice and granulated. And then, you know, you'd think maybe it wouldn't mix very well with the Moon Glow, since Moon Glow already has 3 colors in it. But look at this lovely gray color here. And I'm really enjoying this. It almost reminds me of a hematite, but not quite, like a burnt hematite. Then over here, we got the Moon Glow mixing in with our Sleeping Beauty. And again, you'd think Moon Glow would just go muddy if it had any other colors mixed with it. But again, it makes a lovely granulated goodness. Then over here, we've got a nice wet sandy beach with the Sleeping Beauty and the goethite. And it's just lovely. I mean, that was a meal. I would have a 3-course meal and I'd love it.
Beautiful
nice.
mixtures, really nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Nice,
Yeah.
a nice range of colors and grays.
Yeah.
I use a lot of grays. Colorful grays.
Interesting
you,
grays,
Drew.
lively.
Very nice. And
So let me
and how about, let's see, we'll go to Giovanni.
I see John. John, you
Yeah, I
work,
think
John?
John, yeah.
Okay.
You want to put John up to center screen?
Okay.
Oh. Oh.
Your mic is on mute. Mute that, John.
Okay.
There
Yeah,
he
I've
is.
got New Gamboge and Sleeping Beauty turquoise and quinacridone red down here. And man, I love the way these look together. I mean, you know, all this, like we're saying, it's like playing, you know, with paint as a kid again, you know. But I love the way the Sleeping Beauty and the quinacridone made that little violet color. I don't know if you can tell, but this is kind of a yellow light here. But anyway,
Very nice.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Wow. So this was the last, thank you, John. This was the last triad. This is the burnt umber, and then the fuchsite, and then iridescent sapphire. And that's kind of what it kind of says. It dries, it starts to see that iridescent coming out. And this was our first triad. So our first triad. The only part of Australia most people forget about, which is Tasmania, serpentine. And then next triad. You see that iridescent. You kind of see the iridescent a little bit more as it dries. You can kind of see that iridescent coming out in the wash. Next one. Kind of like this one. I would agree with John. It's and what several of you have said. It is just fun to just play with color. I think for those people that are blessed with the ability to landscapes and figures, etc., which I do not have, playing with the colors it's just fun. And there's just no wrong. It's just whatever speaks to you. So believe it or not, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did 18 colors, and we saw from 5 different artists. So thank you all for showing what you were doing. That's fantastic.
John,
Yes.
I've got a triad to show you briefly. If you,
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Ian, go ahead.
I'll see if I can get me things to turn.
Oh yeah.
Right. Sorry, it's my camera's not. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's backwards, unfortunately. But what we've got manganese blue U.
Yeah.
I'm of the same opinion as John for me yellow. New Gamboge and quinacridone coral.
Yeah.
Or the red. And what that does, you can go from a very deep, cool brown that's almost purpley blue, right through to a like a golden yellowy color, which is very nice. And they're the suspects. The only other thing I might do, other than the blue that I've used, would be the I can never say this one. The data blue. I would swap that out probably with the manganese blue, but that's where that'd be with a triad.
Does the Vertimer have white in it?
No.
John, does that Vertimer blue have white in the pigment, in the paint?
I don't believe so, but I'm going to verify that right here real quick.
I think it's the a mixture between cobalt and cerulean. Is that right? I've got the right one.
Yeah, because nice earthy tones here on the mixtures you have right now. I was just wondering with the Vertimer, if it had white in it, you might not get the same range of colors.
With the light I've got at the moment, I can't really see the.
Oh, that's okay. I'll look it up. I've got the color chart here. But playing with color is so important. It's usually right in the middle of a painting is not when I want to do it. And these, as I kind of showed, I've got probably about 4 of these books I made just out of true watercolor paper, 140 pound, because you're going to get a more realistic reading of color compared to some lighter weight sketchbooks. But I mean, with all these books that I have, some days you come to the studio and you don't really know what to paint, and to just start playing with color. You know, people say it's just so much fun, but they don't do it. And it's so important to just do all of these swatches ahead of time, so you have this wealth of information to pull from when you get ready to do a painting. Yeah, somebody's holding up a painting there. Ian's holding up a painting.
Brand-
But to just have these swatches ahead of time and play ahead of time, so you're in the mood and you kind of know what you're going to do when you step into a painting, whether you want neutralized colors, spring colors, fall colors, or the wonderful beach colors that Gabriel was showing. To just play. I mean, people, the playground recess was the most important day for kids, because you learn how to deal with the world when you play. And it's the same way with watercolor. You learn how to paint by playing with pigment when you're not in the middle of a painting, but before you paint.
Good
Answer
tip.
to your question,
Yeah.
Brenda. Yes.
Yeah.
So diverted or blue is cerulean blue, chromium with zinc white. So
With
it's
zinc white. I knew there was
yeah.
there. I knew it. Yeah.
Right.
So it's pigment blue 28, pigment blue 36, and pigment white number 4.
Yeah. Because the wonderful earthy combination he had, I'm afraid if you use the Vertimer, go ahead and try it, but I'm afraid the white is going to just knock everything down quite a bit.
Right.
It's a great color, but not the greatest mixing color sometimes when you're trying to create a range. It's great for atmospheric and with the white, pushing things back, but not always a great mixer that way.
Yeah, I've been using it as a sky color, and you're right, it does do exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. Great color, but when I think for those, like the triad pigment that has white in it, it's going to cause some problems.
Mhm. Makes sense. Good stuff. Good stuff.
And I like using that color for a sky.
Well, and I love using lavender, the Daniel Smith lavender in the sky, because the California sky has so much white in it, especially as you come down towards the horizon. It creates this wonderful atmospheric kind of haze that we have here. So white in the pigments do have their place.
When I took a photo not too long ago of some atmospherics, there were a strong blue, and then like a grayed out area, and then directly opposite from it, there were almost a pink, purpley haze round it. So you do get those colours in the sky if you look at it with right atmosphere.
True.
Okay. Gabriel, you're the artist tomorrow, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. So you probably heard Gabriel quite a bit over many months, and tomorrow Gabriel will be the demonstrating artist. So that'll be wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for showing your art. Yes.
John,
I have a very basic question, and it's based upon the 3 primary colors. What does Daniel Smith recommend for your most neutral, basic red, blue, and yellow when you're creating the basic color wheel?
So we have a triad, but I'm going to ask Brenda, because Brenda's still on.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's the set. It's the essential set that they have. They do have it in there, and I think it's 6 colors. So you're getting a red, blue, and a yellow, and some secondaries. But look up the Daniel Smith Essentials, because they really do have the true primaries, I believe, in that set.
Well, one that is sold in a set of 3 at our local supply store is, I think it's quinacridone rose, which really to me is not a true red. So
yeah, but if you look at different color wheels, and they talk about, when you do the printing, and they talk about using like magenta, it's the magenta that's going to get you the greater range of color than the red. That's what they use in the printing process. So yeah, it is. The thinking has changed. Masters.
Okay.
I was just gonna say something. This is Ashley, by the way. So I have swatched out the essential set here. And the quinacridone rose, when mixed with the Hansa yellow light, gives you a red. It is so, it's magic. So yeah, anytime you have like a magenta or a rose and you mix that with like a lemon yellow, you get a really beautiful red.
That is such a great example right there to answer her question. That's it, the essentials. Yeah, great mixing set. Look at what's in that set and you'll be
Okay.
set.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Ashley. And thank you for the question. So thank you all for joining today. It was great seeing you. It's always great seeing you. Thank you for sharing your colors. It's not always easy to be able to send a message out to have you know beforehand that we're going to do triads. Got to work on trying to figure out how to do that. But thank you for doing it on the fly. Lori, thank you for showing yours. John, thank you for showing yours. And with that, see you all either tomorrow or next week. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye, everybody.
Much, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you later.
It's fun.